Fleximoms organized a three-part summit to be held in Mumbai, Delhi and Bangalore. The first leg of the event took off at Mumbai amidst great fervour. The SHEROES Summit is India's largest entrepreneurial summit organized for women professionals.
The agenda really had four objectives. One is to look at the broad business trends. What is happening on the horizon that is significant for me as a career transitioner to know, for any woman professional to know really, and what are the big CEOs thinking. The second objective is to support entrepreneurship by women, with women, and getting the ecosystem looped in. And the third was about personal motivation, personal growth, really letting go of our self-limiting beliefs. And the last was, what are the big opportunities, what are the alternate formats, what are the big interesting models of engagement that are emerging.
The summit hosted an engaging panel discussion with top CEOs sharing insights on the current trends in business, women at work and rules of engagement.
A lot of women gave up careers when digital wasn't on the horizon. It wasn't the big thing. It wasn't everything we do in life. And today we are at a place, so if you came from the travel sector or the hospitality sector or the marketing sector, you were a different professional. You come back to a world that's pretty changed. So take us through your personal story, and also how do you see digital shaping everything around you?
The journey has been very, very fast, very rapid, and also very enlightening. From what we used to deal with 8 years back to what we do now is very, very different. And the opportunity is still very huge, still very large. The biggest thing about digital, not just as a professional who works in it, but in every single way, is that it doesn't require your physical presence. You can interact, you can work, you can do whatever actions you need to do at any point of time of the day and from anywhere. So it's time agnostic and it's place agnostic. So I think that is very, very revolutionary. You know, it's not, this whole 9 to 5 doesn't need to work on digital at all.
Anand, you really need to tell us a little more about your portfolio firms. I'm personally fascinated by the models they're exploring, but I think you need to tell us the in-house story.
So that's a big change we are seeing around us, right? And a lot of us, if you look at education, right, a lot of people are now going for education not just because they want to pick up a job. Right? I mean, if you go to business schools, right? I mean, I want to be educated, I want to learn. You know, unfortunately, colleges in this country don't teach you enough, so you typically end up taking post-graduation, right? And then you might think that, okay, kids who want to study in these colleges actually want jobs, right? And actually want training. And you go there, and this is a very interesting trend I noticed. When you go to these colleges, now these kids who are studying in these colleges are not looking for jobs exactly, right? I mean, the whole business premise, they are looking at doing lots of things, right? And actually I've seen a lot of people take breaks. It is very strange, right? Like people actually take a break after their 12th standard, which was unheard of in India, right? There's always a break here. If you talk about Western countries, typically after their school, they take a break here. After their college, they take a break here, and they take multiple break years throughout their life. But breaks are common. So are careers which are completely different, right? I mean, I am studying engineering, so maybe that was a mistake, but I want to do photography, which is very, very, very common, right? I mean, another trend we are seeing is, you know, a lot of, because of inflation, real estate, EMI, right? Double income actually is now a necessity in big cities. It's not an option any longer, right? A lot of women take up a job after a few years of marriage, not because they are bored, because it's necessary. And what's that doing is, you know, the kind of clothes that people are buying, right? So, and that's a strange opportunity. So it's these things that we want to tap, and it's exciting. In fact, I find Fleximoms as a very exciting option. Again, a mega trend. I was telling her that, you know, it should not be only for moms, right? It's for everybody, including men. A lot of flexi jobs are around.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing that, Anand. Deepa, I'm really curious to know more about your model. Take us back into detail of what you do, how do you manage the business of it, and how do you make flex work? It's almost letting a business secret.
You needed the internet for something like this to happen. You needed email for something like this to happen. You needed smart communications and connectivity. So it's a very powerful process-driven backend. And like you talked about work being broken into smaller pieces, we have specific, elaborate planning that happens of what are the kind of workflows from the time a client brief arrives till a final presentation that happens. And when you break it out, how is it that you power the engine? So that's really the back.
Right.
That those are the wheels that keep turning. On the front is what you actually see is a tremendous sense of depth of understanding of the domain.
Right.
So you have project teams that have people who have domain expertise. To give you an example, if I'm doing something for a banking client, it helps to have somebody who has been a chartered accountant, who also is someone who understands money, who is involved in banking, who has a passion in that area. So for us, alignment of people to core passion areas is also a very big part of how we make this happen. I find a lot more people wanting to do something at a much younger age. So today, when I'm doing a class at a business school, for example, or I've spoken on entrepreneurship in a couple of forums, just the age at which people want to do things, and even people in very mainstream careers having that sense of restlessness that they've not got it all. They still want to go and do something, and they're more vocal about it, and that seems to be quite universal. It also, I see that even with women in smaller towns who want to do something with their available time. So it's also the economic pressures compelling people to be innovative in terms of saying, how can I use my talent to do something? So I see overall a ferment of saying, what more can I do? And for me, that's a positive thing.
Bringing to light the main bone of contention at the summit was a panel of speakers on whether women-owned enterprises are different from the ones owned by men. The panel also discussed innovative entrepreneurial ventures with speakers bringing their own personal story to the platform.
As an observer who has been working with startups and mentoring startups or helping entrepreneurs think about businesses, that's the biggest difference that I see between men or young men who start thinking about entrepreneurship versus women who get into entrepreneurship. I get the sense, and I hope I'm wrong onto this, that a lot of women think of entrepreneurship or doing something because they want something interesting to do, not because they want to do something impactful. And that could be a good starting point, but in many ways it becomes very limiting. What can I do? What can I do? And what am I good at versus what is the opportunity, and I want to be an entrepreneur, let me go and make the bigger. Akanja, let me come to you. Now, when you started, that was a very different era. And what are your aspirations as a company? And are you, how do you see this, some of the younger people that you interact with, including some of the clients that you might be interacting with?
I have to say this, that all the challenges we are talking about, and sorry, but this man versus woman challenges, and I have flexibility, but I don't have flexibility, and I was too young and I branched out on my own. I'm sure a lot of boys who branched out on their own at my age 10 years back had the same challenges. So first and foremost, just clear your head of, oh, I'm a woman, so I need empowerment. No, you just need to be enabled. There's nothing like, you don't need a special empowerment. It's just willing. There are a few responsibilities which as a woman you have to intrinsically attend to. Well, that's what you have to do. So why should that be any impediment to what you want to achieve? Or if somebody rejects you at a certain job, some man somewhere will get rejected due to an unfair reason. It doesn't matter. These are just life situations. They are not man versus women situations, is the point I would really like to make.
A lot of women that especially when you're talking about entrepreneur, they want to start small and they want to stay small. Why? Because I'm not sure whether 100 crores, do you think I can do it? How will this be possible? Work-life balance, I respect completely. If you have 4 hours, so be it. But 4 hours is not a limitation to keep your business at 50 lakhs. If you want to make from 50 lakhs to 5 crores, it does not mean that you'll need 40 hours in a day. That 4 hours, all it will mean is that you will need to build a foundation which is very different. You will probably need to hire a CEO or you'll need to get other people who will contribute to that. Does that mean that you will have 100% equity in the company? No. It may mean that you need to share equity with other people. But it will be possible to build scale business, yes.
A lot of it is dependent on the opportunities that are around you. So while for a lot of us here there might be opportunities where we can reach out or get support in, let's say, building up a business plan, or have support in terms of doing that and visioning that. For a lot of women, I think the fact that they have taken a break from work and have had children and have not worked for many years makes them lose their confidence, because they have lost touch with the world. And I think if anything, whether it's the passion of doing something small, big, doesn't matter. To each of us it's different.
One of the words that most entrepreneurs, forget women, but even men feel scared about is this whole thing about business plan. And when they think about a business plan, most people who are thinking about entrepreneurship for the first time, men and women, would come and ask you, and Zankana, you would have faced that as well. Can somebody help me do a business plan? An accountant or somebody. It's not an accountant's job to do a business plan. A business plan is nothing but a plan for your business. It's a story about what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and how you're going to make money of it. Yes, there is a cost structure to it, and you can get an accountant to do that, help you with that entire thing. And Ashmi, in your observation, when you were talking to women entrepreneurs, what were the key challenges that they were talking about, that they face in their starting of phase?
I think majority of women entrepreneurs are not taken seriously by their family. It's almost like, okay, let her start. Even if you're saying somebody supported me, it's more like, okay, let her start. What's the harm? Maybe she'll have something to do. She might even lose some money. I mean, I don't see a lot of active support. Let's be very clear. Like, maybe, of course, the women I've featured, they have had one champion maybe, okay, somebody's husband, somebody's mother-in-law. I mean, there's a lady who said that, my mother-in-law used to tell all the relatives that I am sorry she can't attend these functions and so on. He's a working person, she cannot come. Even that is a form of support for women. These are problems men never have to face.
Out of every 200-300 plans that we see, we would occasionally get a plan that is driven by a woman. And I don't know what that reason could be. The reason, I think, is not about the barriers that the ecosystem has placed. Do investors, for example, look at women businesses differently than doing that? I don't think so. Do customers, or are there customers likely to look at women-driven businesses? I don't think so. Are there societal stereotypes and saying that I can't report to a woman and stuff? Maybe 10-15 years ago that would have been true. I don't think young people think about it. What do we need to do as an ecosystem? I think we need to celebrate entrepreneurship and women entrepreneurs a lot more. I think we need to showcase the fact that access to opportunities is universal, whether it's man or woman. I think we need to also celebrate the fact that all businesses need not be successful. There are some businesses that will fail on the way. It's okay to fail. You just dust yourself, move on, and you start another business on your own.
An interactive session was in store for the participants at the summit, with the session on Powering Life led by Jagat and Kia Rathore.
Because as children, we believe we can do anything we want. The whole world is open to us. And as we grow up, people keep telling us what we can do, what we can't do, what we should do. And our opportunities keep getting narrower and narrower. And if you're a woman, it's even worse. Beliefs are like an on-off switch. So if the switch is on, electricity passes and things can happen. But if you believe you can't do something, you're not even going to try. And then you're guaranteed not to succeed. On the other hand, if you believe you can do something, you're going to try. You'll give it a shot. You might succeed or you might not succeed. Regardless, even if you don't succeed, if your belief is strong, you're going to get up again. You might scrape your knees, but you'll get up, try again. And every time you try again, that belief that I can do it will get stronger in you.
Just taking on from that, and Kia used the term when she said limiting beliefs. And they really are limiting beliefs, because what they do is they set the limit on what you believe you can do and what you can't. Is that right? The thing is that if you can overcome even one of them, the big one, something which you believe is just completely impossible for you to do, and if you do it just once, it suddenly opens up a huge range of doors for you. Because after that, everything is questioned.
Select participants were made to experience firsthand the art of letting go of all inhibitions. The results were nothing short of spectacular, even for the audience that watched in awe. The final session for the day brought out a panel of experts showcasing the emerging patterns in the industry, alternative career options, new inventions, and a newer line of thinking.
You always have that image of this Kahani actor trying to sell insurance and a typical LIC agent. On my very recent trip to America, I came across this woman by the name of Christine Muller. 3 million a year, only selling insurance. And the biggest inspiration actually came to her when she delivered a claim check. But one of the biggest issues or problems that we face in today's scenario is that who's going to, like you said, who's going to actually leave your home and go out in the market or go to an office and submit documents? The whole process is very cumbersome. That's where we came in. We said, let's not do that. Let's go out, reach out to women, target women, get women to actually start selling for us. But let's break it down. Let's actually come out with very simple products, but only for women. Women selling for women, very good. But let's use a lot of technology. Let's empower women with tablets. We say, let's get everybody a tablet. Egon gets them a tablet, which has a beautiful app. It's an entire sales process that's on the application. So, which means you can sit at home, and I'm carrying a few tablets with me. You can sit at home, sell insurance to your friends entirely online, and make a commission out of it.
We set up and run HR department for companies. So the numbers, the business models, the targets that we chase are very, very real business types, right? And this is the point I want to bring when I talk about women and Plug HR, is that we have 28 people in the company, out of which 24 are women, and there are 4 men. So how did that happen? It happened primarily because of how I look at building businesses or living myself. There are 2 sides of my businesses very clearly. One side is the business objectives. Why we exist in business is because there are 15 million enterprises in India which fail to set up a good quality HR departments. They struggle. That's the business side. The other side is when we are building Plug HR, you want to make sure that it is your personal life that you live at Plug HR. So we don't believe in work-life balance. We believe there's only life.
If you look at the work of these women architects, you know that if you look at any other industry, especially the creative industries, they are the most creative ones, the better designers, right? The more empathetic ones. If you're a young architect who is getting about 30,000 as a guy, when you're a female architect, you get about 20, right? Why? I don't know. And the first question they ask when you go for a job interview if you're a woman is that when you're getting married, right? So I'm sure in other industries also, but I don't know, I've always been an entrepreneur, so I don't know, I never worked in any of the companies. And there is no mentor, there is no role model, no one. So this is the scenario in the industry I am in. We have a company called Fused Cow. It's got nothing to do with beef. Fused Cow is fused construction over web. That is the technology we try to use, which is kind of we kind of created it. In plain language, if you're a builder, we help you sell 100% customized homes to your end customers, right? Which is pretty cool. And you don't have to pay anything for that. How many of you are running your own companies, small little boutique companies, etc., companies, or want to start your own small company, little company? There you go. So if you have started, taken that plunge, or if you're thinking about it, how can media help you? How can you be out there, safe yet known, so that when you are ready to sort of get momentum around you, people are there to help you and support you. How many of you are on Twitter? You said some of you are on Twitter. How many of you get retweeted? A few of you. Many of your stories are not online. So why aren't you sharing? Why didn't you share, some of you, when you broke that wooden plank here, why don't you take a picture and tweet about it? Why don't you share with your friends? And I'm telling you, they would have retweeted saying, hey, listen, she did it. Unbelievable. So word of mouth still gets us the maximum leads for our business. Beats any other media. When you see a business card, what do you see first? The name, and the second thing, the company logo. If it's Microsoft and it's Puneet Maudgil, which is a powerful brand. Puneet Maudgil, hello. Just kidding. Microsoft, right? Are you known as the brand by the logo on your business card? Or are you that name people recognize and say, hey, I like this person? So you have to build a brand around you, and that will not come by faking it. That will not come by buying media. That will come through your honest sharing.
The Mumbai leg of the summit ended on a positive note and left the audience enthused and energized to opt for the alternative route and become a true Shero.
A person who makes a choice and then makes that choice work for her is really a Shero. And when we say Shero, we're really talking about every woman out there who's making a choice, who's moving ahead by taking decisions.
I think anybody who has a story to tell is Shero. So there are Sheroes or heroes that we worship, whose story we know, and then there are many others whose stories are never really told, but they are also Sheroes. So I think in some ways all of us are every woman is a Shero and every man is a hero, because they always mean something to somebody as long as they're relevant to either themselves or to the society or to their family. It makes them a Shero or a hero.